Welcome to the Help Her Be Brave podcast show, where you get great ideas on how you can help save lives. I'm Amy with Embrace Grace.
And I'm Jessica with Embrace Grace.
So today we're going to be talking to Pam Whitehead, and she is really being just the way she helps support tangibly these women that need resources and need help, that maybe it's outside of the bounds of maybe a pregnancy center or different organizations. She just like is the net, that picks up all of the ways that maybe there's no other support for.
Yeah.
Like maybe they need a hotel to stay in because they just fled an abusive situation, or maybe they need baby items, or they just found out they're pregnant, and we know it seems like they had one time where she never even knew she was pregnant and just went to the hospital and found out you're having a baby right now, and she didn't even know. And so like emergency situations, it's Loveline, ProLove Ministries, they're awesome.
Really amazing, and they really are filling in an area that there's a large gap in.
Yeah.
The other side, the pro-choice side, really talks about how we encourage them to choose life, but then we leave them there. And this ministry is really saying, no, that's not what we do.
Yeah, we do care about the mom. And
yes, helping them with like bills.
Yeah.
Like I need to keep my electricity on, getting them connected with counseling.
Education.
Yes, education, helping them actually physically helping them fulfill their dreams.
Yeah.
And what they're called to do. So it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Hey, Pam.
Hey, how are you ladies doing?
Really
Amazing.
good. So Pam is like, she's amazing. She uses her Facebook as like, she's like keyboard warrior to recruit people to help in some way, whether it's financial or Amazon gift lists for single moms. And she is awesome. Like basically she doesn't see a problem as too big of a problem.
She's like, hold on, I got this.
We got this. God's got you. So Pam, thank you so much for being on today. Why don't you share a little bit about your story and why you even jumped into the pro-life movement?
Sure. So I was a hot mess for a long time. I lived a pretty depraved life. I didn't know God. I was hopeless. I was addicted. I'd been abused. I'd been abandoned. And I found myself facing an unplanned pregnancy in 2001 and walking into an abortion clinic. There was no one outside, no one trying to stop me. And every person that I'd asked up to that point, what they thought I should do told me, oh, Pam, you can't. So over and over and over again, I heard you can't. And those words rang true for me at the time. That's what I believed about myself, and everyone around me affirmed that. And so I laid on that table and I had an abortion that day. And I left that clinic in an ambulance, injured, and ended up at the hospital. And I didn't think that I needed to tell anyone. What I thought was I'd gotten what I deserved. And so all the shame, all the guilt, all of the regret that I was already feeling was just compounded by this injury. And so for 10 years, I sat on it, and I never even talked about it, never thought about it, never considered that it was important to anyone else, because of course everyone had told me, you can't, this is what you should do. In 2009, I surrendered my life to Christ. And the next year I went to we call it an encounter. And so it's a 3-day retreat where you go, and it kind of peels away layers to, really find freedom. And it was at that retreat that the Lord reminded me of this abortion, and I was healed that weekend. I'm still on a healing journey, but exposed and began my healing. And the next year, I felt a call to be for other women what I did not have in my own life. Rather than complaining that no one stood up for me, I decided that I was going to stand up for her. And so I started as a sidewalk advocate, having no idea what I was doing. Thank God for Sidewalk Advocates for Life, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And started as a sidewalk advocate and really began educating myself by following Abby Johnson. You know, you say that I use my Facebook. Man, that woman, she was putting out some stuff, and I'd never heard a lot of it or her perspective, and it really moved my heart. And so that's really how I got started and why.
Wow.
Girl.
I love it. Like you were like, I'm not going to be a victim. I'm an overcomer, and I'm going to help other women and be the person you wish that you had in your life years ago when you had your abortion experience.
Yes, you are so brave, Pam. We love you so much. And I love how you even pointed out how everybody told you that you couldn't do it. You kept hearing no's, and how like that, I see that as like fueling your fire of you're going to be that person that tells her, yes, you can do this. Yes, we're going to do this together. And it's so brave of you.
I think that's one of the biggest things that that did fuel me. It like set a fire down, and maybe it was the rebel in me. Like, you're not going to tell me what I can't do. But I couldn't stand that, you know. And I think that's really what abortion tells us, is you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, tell us. So you're running ProLove Ministries, which we love that word pro-love. You know, I always say pro-life is a stance, pro-love is an action, and you guys are for sure action. Tell us a little bit about ProLove Ministries.
So ProLove Ministries exists to fill gaps in the pro-life movement, and our goal and our hope is to unite, to bring together these resources that are filling gaps, much like Embrace Grace. I mean, the whole reason that you guys existed is because you saw a gap, right? Yeah. And so our hope is to unify our efforts and come under one mission of being pro-love, of ending abortion in this country. You know, we can't legislate hearts. We have to go after those hearts with the heart of God. And we really do change people one heart at a time. No matter what the law says, grace is greater. Mm-hmm. And we believe that the organizations that affiliate with us are filling huge gaps in the pro-life movement. Abortion Survivors Network. No one ever even knew that people survived abortions until Melissa Oden began sharing her story, you know. Mm-hmm. It takes a family. She's trying to reclaim parenthood for parents and get that sex education out of the schools and back into the hands of the parents so that they can have these conversations. And she's teaching parents how to do that. Abiding Love Adoptions, they focus on the expectant mom, and we love that about them. And then we have Reliance Ministries. She has a model that we feel like could be duplicated across the country. And then Love Louder. Love Louder hopes to provide peer support for women who have conceived in sexual assault or have been sexually assaulted and need that kind of support. And then we've got projects. So under our projects, we have Check My Clinic, Pro-Life Women's Conference, Love Line, and Mama Scholar, which is a collaboration or a partnership with Embrace Grace, where we provide scholarships for women who have completed your program and want to go to schools that are meeting obstacles. So that care we individualize. Everything that we do, we focus on the individual. So we don't have like a line item or an itemized list of services that we provide. When a woman comes to us and she needs to complete school and she fills out her scholarship application, we're like, well, what do you need? You know, she's received FAFSA, but she needs childcare. Well, let's make that happen. So our hope is to, whatever the need is, it's not too big, it's not too small, there's always a way.
Yes. There's always a way to find a yes.
Yeah, and it's not cookie cutter. It's not like it's a one size fits all helps every woman. It's so, what you guys are doing is so custom to what each woman's needs are to help her be empowered to be the mom that God created her to be, whether it's to place her baby for adoption or parenting. You guys are helping her be empowered to choose life. I love it.
Yes, I'm such a fan of what you guys are doing. And I love how even with Loveline, you guys are so inclusive in how you're collaborating with other ministries and people who are helping her be brave all over the country. And you guys have helped so many Embrace Grace moms and gotten love boxes to women who don't necessarily need financial support, but they need help being brave in that choice for life and getting them connected with a group. Like, I love that. You don't want to own it all. You want to share it all. And I think that's a win for everybody. Hey guys, this is Jessica taking a real quick break from the podcast to share something exciting with you. We would love to invite you to the Embrace Grace A Night to See annual gala on Sunday, October 25th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. This year is going to be extra special because it's completely and totally virtual. So this means that you get to join in from anywhere in the world, like your couch, a friend's house, whatever. It's a perfect opportunity for you to learn more about all of the incredible miracles happening through lives being saved and transformed and embrace grace through the love of Jesus. Make sure to check out all the details and register at www.embracegracegala.com.
You know, our hope and goal is to elevate Jesus, to magnify the glory of God to the ends of the earth. We recognize and realize that we are a body made up of different parts, and each of us has a purpose, you know, and our hope is to tap into that purpose for everyone, capitalize on our strengths, and let grace come in our weaknesses.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. There's always someone else who can fill a hole that you seem to be stuck in, you know, and so we just love working together, especially with you guys. You're beautiful.
Oh, we love you too. And I love, like, you if you guys are great also about posting Amazon wish lists or baby items maybe that a mom might need. And I know that you use both Abby Johnson's social media plus the ProLove Ministries. And from what it appears, when you post, like, these are real needs that a woman has right now, here's the wish list on Amazon. It's like, seems like within minutes that everything's covered.
Yes, y'all had a mom that you were helping with one of your Amazon wish lists, and she was in the DFW area. And remember, y'all used the office address for that gift list, and the presents just kept coming.
It was
like almost comical,
out of control. How many diapers and baby items that, I mean, it was so much that I think that you even gave us, I think, some that's like, use it for baby showers, because it was so much. It was too much for one person. I mean, it was
so much,
hundreds of Amazon boxes that just kept coming in. I remember the mailman was like, what is going on? What's happening?
Like, it was enough to where, like, it was wide and
we made
high,
like a huge pyramid,
and you were like hidden behind it. Like, it was like almost people 6 feet tall. And Alyssa and I had loaded up her SUV and taken the presents out to the mamas on the other side of the Metroplex. And the way that her family, or the people that she was living with at that time, responded as we just kept bringing in all these packages, like, it just wrecked their world. They weren't people who identified themselves as Christian or pro-life or anything, but the way that you guys served that mom in that time, like, it rocked her world.
You know, everything that you just said is, I mean, that's the glory of God, right? You said it was wide and it was high and it was deep, and that was the love of God. I mean, all of it. It's overwhelming. It overtakes you. It doesn't stop. It kept coming. That's what that is. And that's what we want people to see. We don't have to preach to them.
Yeah.
You know, we're able to serve. And I believe that, you know, everything that we do is an overflow of who He is in us. And I never, ever, ever want that to get lost in anything that we're doing.
For sure.
There was a one of the single moms that I mentored. She's kind of part of our family. Her name's Shanice, and she was just Marco Poloing me this week, and she was preaching to me on Marco Polo, and she was like, she said that God is not a basic God. He is so extra, and that is where I get that from. And he does exceedingly and abundantly more than what we could ever ask, think, or imagine. And I just love that because she is so extra.
She is so extra.
But she's owning it. Like, God made me this way. I love that. And I love that you're not intimidated by the need as well. I remember one time there was a mom that, and I talk about this in my book, but she had another Embrace Grace alumni had reached out and said, I know a girl who's sleeping on a couch and she doesn't have a formula for her baby. And I didn't get the message until later at night, and the message was left on my voicemail earlier in the morning. And so I remember we were at Chili's with the family, and I'm hearing this voicemail, and I'm like, oh no, like it's been all day. So I called her, and I was like, what do you need? She said, yeah, I don't have any formula. And I said, okay, well, what else? Do you need diapers? She's like, no, I stole those. I said, okay, well, do you need food? She said, no, I stole some food. I'm good there. You can't steal formula because they have sensors on the can. And so I couldn't do that. And so my baby doesn't have any food. And so I was like, oh my goodness. So I go and me and my husband go get some stuff, get some food, and like just a care pack or whatever. We go to this place. It's not a good part of town. She kind of steps out. She didn't want me to come in. And there were a lot of people going in and out behind her. It definitely seems like maybe drugs were going on, but you could tell she was not on drugs. But she was staying. She said, I'm staying on this couch, but I'm only allowed to be here a couple days. And I don't have any food for my daughter. And she said that, I said, well, do you have a mom? And she said, well, my mom's addicted to cocaine. And so that's why I left. And I left my two twin 17-year-old sisters, and I am wrecked about it. Like, I hate it that they're there. I want to get them out, but I don't even have a place to go. And her baby was about 6 months old. And I said, well, do you have a dad? And she said, yeah, he has 21 kids, and I'm just one of them. And he lives in a small mobile home. Like, there's no room for me and my baby. Plus, I don't even really know him. And she just didn't have anything. She didn't have a job. And I found out that she wasn't going to the government assistant WIC offices because she didn't have a car seat for her baby. And so she was worried that they were going to call CPS or something.
Oh my gosh.
So she just wasn't going.
So she was afraid of the system that could help her.
Right. And so we brought the stuff, and I remember just feeling so overwhelmed. Like, where do you even start with helping someone like this? I mean, they need everything. They need a place to live. They need a car. They need a car seat. I mean, job. I mean, they need everything. And I prayed for her. And one thing that stood out to me is she said, I said, is your baby okay? Like, she hasn't eaten all day. She's like, yeah, she hasn't eaten all day, but she seems okay. And I was like, well, is she crying? And she's like, well, she's just whimpering a little. And I was so grieved by that, because I just think about when I had kids, like, they would cry just if they could never make it to like the 3 hours or whatever. I mean, they would cry. They wanted food. They wouldn't even take passies. They wanted real milk all the time. Immediately. And they would scream for it. And so I prayed for her, and I was like, let me figure something out, and I'll call you. So I went home, and I was crying, and I was like, talking to my husband, I'm like, where do we even start? This is too much. It's too big. Like, I don't know how we can help. And I was praying, and I was even thinking about how that baby is just whimpering, and like the baby already found out at a young age that there's no point in crying because there's nothing coming. Like, my babies cried because they knew if they cried hard enough, they're going to get what they want. But this baby, already at 6 months old, already knew there's no point in like crying for food because nothing was coming. And then the baby grows up to be an older kid, and like, what's the point of trying or because nothing's coming or nothing's for me out there. And then they grow up to be an adult, and what's the point? And it's this poverty cycle that's generational that goes on from a young age, unless God can intervene or people intervene to introduce them to God, and they can we can stop the generational patterns. But it was, I remember, so I called a friend, and I was like, I don't even know where to start. Do you have any ideas? And she's like, let's just post on Facebook and see what happens. Like, you never know. So I'm like, we need a car. We need
everything.
A 2-bedroom apartment so we can get those twins out too.
Her sisters.
We need, her sisters, the furniture. We need furniture. We need cleaning supplies. We need a job. We put it all out there. Pam, within 1 week, this is a Saturday that this happened. By the next Saturday, we got her into an apartment, a 2-bedroom, got those girls out, totally brand new furnished, all kinds of furniture. She got a car. Someone said, hey, I got a car that I don't need anymore. She got a job as a janitor at a church that was flexible with her schedule because we helped her get enrolled in school. And then the twins were going to help too with babysitting, taking turns, the sisters, the whole thing. Within 1 week, she was sleeping in a drug house couch
with nothing.
And then 1 week later, her life completely changed. And I remember I almost didn't do anything because it felt like it was too much. And I love, and it really just strengthened my faith. Like, people want to help. They just don't know. They just need to know how can they help, and the way you break it down with your Amazon wish list and all of that it's giving people tangible ways that they can help. And, everybody doing one small thing all together makes a huge impact. And, that's what you guys are doing
literally all over the country.
All the time. Yeah. Every week, every day, you guys are love bombing these women and helping them get on their feet.
I think I get reminded all the time that we have not because we ask not.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that we serve a God who owns everything.
Yes.
And I talk to him this way. I tell him that he is an owner and I am a steward, and that I've been faithful and I can be trusted. And so because of that, because I have your attributes in me, I'm asking you to give these things to us so that we can help those who need it. I rebuke the enemy's hands off of finances all the time.
Yes.
I believe that everything that we need to thrive and have abundant life is here already. And that we just have to grab hold of it,
Yeah.
I think that people have to have hope before they can have faith. Mm. And so often the women and the men and the families that we encounter are hopeless.
Yeah.
And I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
I know what it feels like to be in complete darkness at midnight, but I'm always reminded of when Paul was in prison, and the Bible says at midnight, suddenly their chains fell off. They had been praising God, then suddenly their chains fell off and they were free. And I believe that God is a God of suddenly.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
so good.
Things happen just like that. And so we can't limit him, because we can't fathom how this is going to happen. I'm always reminded that what's impossible for man is possible for God.
Yes.
And so I just think that there's nothing that we can't ask for. What's the worst that's going to happen? Somebody's going to say no. I mean, they can't take away my birthday, so we're going to be fine, right?
I heard someone say one time, like, it's hard to dream when your bellies are empty. And I don't think that literally means bellies, but like when you have physical needs that you can't sleep at night because you're worried about something that you need, how can you dream? Or yeah, and which is kind of the same thing that you just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we have to. We love to pray for people.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite.
We pray for people. Absolutely, we pray for people. But at some point, we get up off our knees and we beat feet and we begin to do something.
Yeah, we begin to be the answer to their prayers.
Sometimes we are the answer. Sometimes God is saying, "Hey, I gave you this resource. I gave you this influence. I gave you this organization to steward so that you could be the answer in this situation."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One of my favorite things also is I read a book by Dutch Sheets. You guys probably know who he is.
Intercessory prayer.
Yes, the book is called Intercessory Prayer. And there's something in that book that I grabbed hold of that has really become foundational for me because it just jumped out at me. He says, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't know how he said it, but basically that we don't have to manufacture anything. That Jesus is the manufacturer and we are in distribution.
That's
so
good.
We simply distribute what he has produced in us already. That takes so much pressure off of us, right?
Yeah. For sure.
it causes us to become dependent on the Holy Spirit, to rely on God for everything. And you talk about walking in faith. You know, I don't walk in this level of faith, if I'm honest with you, in my own life, you know?
Yeah.
But as I'm walking it out for other people, it increases the faith that I have for my own life.
Yes.
So a lot of people, they look at what we do and they think, oh my gosh, you know, you guys are giving your life away. And it takes such humility. Honestly, I'm not a humble person by nature. I'm very self-reliant. I'm very independent. I'm bold and loud, and you know what I mean?
No,
But
I don't know what you
I
mean.
would never describe you as bold and loud.
As
Ever.
I serve other people, that humility is produced in me.
No.
You know? And so a lot of people try to wait until they're humble before they serve. That's backwards.
Yeah.
You know? Begin to serve, and those things will be the fruit of that service.
Yeah, that's so true.
Bloodline is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing.
It is, girl.
My hope and my desire is to empower women to have their dreams. I mean, you don't have to be limited.
Yeah.
And, you know, those words, you can't, they make me mad. You know?
Don't tell me what to do.
Yes, don't accept that. And I'm not saying, you know, we don't submit to authorities and we don't walk in order. We absolutely do. But don't ever, ever, ever let someone else create your world for you, because they'll always make it too small.
Yeah,
so
always.
True. Yeah, so you mentioned Loveline, and that is basically what ProLove Ministries is. And what is the number, and how can people connect to ProLove Ministries, whether if they want to give or even if they know someone that is in a situation that needs help?
So Loveline is a project under ProLove Ministries, and it is probably the one that's most public, you know, that serves the public the most. And so our number is 888-550-1588. You can text, you can call, you can message us on Facebook. We have a Facebook page. It's called Loveline, Love First, Life Follows. We have an Instagram. I'm learning how to use that, so bear with me. ProLove Ministries is the 501c3 organization. Loveline is a project under that 501c3. So when you donate, your funds go to ProLove Ministries, and those are tax deductible. And the website for ProLove Ministries is proloveministries.org. The website for Loveline is loveline.com.
Awesome.
Okay? And both of those have Facebook pages as well.
Yeah, and definitely follow those pages, because the ProLove Ministries and Loveline is always posting needs that they have that you can, and Amazon makes it super easy because you can just purchase it and you don't have to worry about shipping or anything. Yeah. It just sends it on to the place where it needs to go for you. So it's an easy way to give practically and help these women that need help. And so what are a couple of ways they can volunteer? You guys need, I'm not sure if you call them advocates or people that are in certain areas that maybe know the resources that are in that area in case that they have a girl that needs help in a specific community.
Yeah. We have it. So on our website, loveline.com, there is a place to get involved. It says at the top, get involved, and you can fill out that form and it will come to me. I do have an extensive volunteer application, and you guys can understand why that's so important, that if someone is going to have contact with the client, even if it's over the phone, it's important for us to know who that person is and know their heart.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
We don't take this lightly. But there are other ways where you don't have to have client contact that you can help. You can have a vet resources. You could receive a registry. So all of our registries, we actually send to volunteers. They don't go directly to clients because it's overwhelming. We just heard you talk about how many boxes.
Yeah.
And imagine a young woman receiving all of that. So we send every registry to a volunteer. She receives it, unpacks it, sorts it, sets it up all nice, and delivers it to the client. So that's a way to help. You know, sometimes women just need a friend. You know, Jessica helped me out greatly with a client in the Dallas-Fort Worth area,
Mm-hmm.
and she was so grateful. So
That's awesome.
those opportunities are always available.
Lots of places to get involved. Well, Pam, we love you and we think you're amazing. And yeah, you are just boots on the ground, being the hands and feet of Jesus, and you inspire us all. But thank you so much for being on today.
Yes.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, ladies.
Okay,
right.
We'll see you
Love
later. That girl is fire.
Yes.
She can preach, she can teach, and she can help a sister.
Yes, she can. And like her heart and the way she serves is inspiring. It like fuels me to do more, to love more. And I love how she even talked about humility isn't something that comes naturally, but when you're walking in obedience and serving others, how that comes a part of it. And it's so true, because you become humbled as you witness these great needs, and you're like, I have no idea.
Yeah, your faith is strengthened because you're watching God meet the needs of these women in extravagant ways, and it's beautiful. Like, all we have to do is ask. And she is so great because she also gives people practical ways where they can get involved in the movement with either being an advocate for the girl, where or just purchasing Amazon wish lists. And plus, because it's not a cookie cutter situation like what we mentioned before, it is very custom. The needs are
always different,
very unique. So you never know what they need might be something that you have to offer. So even just watching for them posting their needs, and it may be your day and your community where they're like, it's you are the one today. It's your turn, right? So definitely check them out, and we hope that you get connected with them and really get involved in what they're doing. Also, Embrace Grace is always a great way to get involved as well. You can start a group and help churches in your community be pro-love, open their doors and their hearts to these women with unexpected pregnancies. And so we want the church to be one of the first places a girl runs to instead of the last, because of shame and guilt. And so definitely just even spreading the word, telling people about it. And one great way is by sharing this podcast. So definitely share with your friends, subscribe on iTunes, and subscribe on YouTube, and just tell everyone about this podcast, because we hope that there's some episode or show that you're going to listen to and you're going to be like, that's it. That's what I'm supposed to be doing.
That will activate you to do something to help her be brave.
Yep. And we want to hear all about it. So definitely reach out to us, helpherbebrave.com. And we want to hear what you're doing. Thank you so much for watching.